At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. Enjoying my cup of coffee this morning. This is my second cup. Usually by around this time, I'm on my second cup of coffee here. So why does it seem a little dark? I don't know. It's kind of weird. I got to work on my lighting. Ooh, I just looked outside. We got some clouds out there, which is no big surprise, but got some color coming in some of those clouds as well. So maybe look outside this morning. In fact, maybe step away and look outside your front door or wherever those clouds may be. Look off to the east, and you're going to see some nice colors out there. Should be pretty nice. Good morning, everyone. How you doing this morning? It is finally Friday, and I've been talking about changes all week long, right? And it feels like it's just knocking on our door right now. We're noticing, number one, the clouds moving in, but no rain just yet. By the way, and we'll see this on radar here in a second, radar detected a lightning strike in Trinity County. Looked like it was near the Weaverville area. I'd like maybe some confirmation on that. If there's anybody in Weaverville or in Trinity County in general that may have heard a rumble of thunder, let me know. Because the radar was not detecting. I checked all the radar sites. I could not detect any rain over that area. So a bit of an anomaly, kind of interesting. Not sure exactly what happened there, but that'd be interesting to see if it actually occurred. It's kind of one of those things where if a lightning strikes a tree in the forest and nobody's there to witness it, did it actually occur? We'll see. Should be interesting out there. But like I said, we got those changes on the way. We're seeing the clouds moving in. Not much in the way of rain right now. There's rain off the coast, but it's going to take a while to get here. It's been kind of hovering off the coast all night long and really hasn't done much as far as rain is concerned for the coast. But I do eventually expect to maybe see some rain. But the thing is, today's forecast is actually more tricky than tomorrow's forecast. Usually we talk about, when we get closer to the storm, we'll get a better idea. Well, actually, the day of the storm, it's still a little tricky. But I'm going to kind of spell it out for you here in a little bit here. We're going to really kind of break down where the storm is, where we're expecting to see it go today, tomorrow, and really through the weekend, and the timing of all that, and how much we can expect to see. Are there going to be thunderstorms? How bad is that rain going to be? Do you have outdoor plans today, tomorrow, or Sunday? We're going to try to help maybe get you through that and help you get prepared for anything that may be heading our way. Before we get to that forecast, we take a look at what day it is. This is a one that's kind of true to my heart, and it's National Only Child Day. Not because I'm an only child. I love my sister, right? But my son is an only child. Aiden is an only child. And, there are times when I recognize and see that I think he would have done really well with a sibling. He's one of those kids, he likes to be around activity. He likes what's going on. Very social. And I think if he had a sibling, I think he would have done really well with that. So sometimes I feel bad I didn't give him a sibling, but, I think he's managed quite well. He's very social and he's got lots of great friends. National 412s Day. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. National Colorado Day. I've never really spent any significant time in Colorado. How about any of you? Let me know. I'd love to go visit Colorado. I mean, who doesn't love the mountains, Rockies, all that, right? I would love to go check that out one day. Maybe that's on my bucket list as I travel across the nation and the world. National Donate Life Blue and Green Day. Now this apparently is a day that was developed to help promote organ donors. And it's you wear blue and green to kind of help kind of remind people of that. Today is also National Day of Silence. Now this changes annually, but apparently this was also something that was designed by students to help in the bullying of the LGBTQ community. So it was an awareness of, hey, not bullying those that are different. Of course, this is a fun one. National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. Here's the thing. You know I'm all about health, right? I love health. I'm all about eating healthy. But I think I might have to celebrate. I love a good grilled cheese sandwich. Who doesn't? Maybe with some some soup, some tomato soup. I may have to do that. Maybe half a sandwich. Maybe my wife and I will split a grilled cheese sandwich. That's what makes it easier for me to eat unhealthy sometimes is that we'll split the unhealthy items. So instead of eating a full sandwich, you eat half a sandwich. So you only eat half the unhealthy, right? That's what we try to do. All right, let's see how everybody's doing out there. Lisa saying, have a great day, everyone. Good morning. 7 miles west of Red Bluff. Sent a photo this morning, first time from, let me check to see if it arrived. Content. I should try to check it a little bit more. Oh, let's see. It doesn't look like it's showed up there. It does show Curtis Brown. Unfortunately, it shows that it didn't. I'm not getting a thumbnail. I'm not sure what happened. So let me just kind of click on the original. Not sure what happened, Curtis, but you may want to try to resend it because as it stands right now, it does not look like I have that image. Good morning. Happy Friday from Jenna Lee. Happy Friday to everyone. Having a good morning. Good morning from Durham. All right. Durham in the house. How you doing this morning? Of course, Red Bluff in the house. I'm sure people in Reading in the house. Let's get to I want to get you to the radar because this is kind of interesting. So we're going to start off by taking a look at that. This is a loop from the last 12 hours. So a couple of things I want to point out. Number one, look out there in central portions of Trinity County, just west of Reading, between Reading and Hoopa. You see that? Look at that. Or let's see the loop go again. Look closely between Hoopa and Reading. Boom, there it is. Lightning strike. But the radar didn't really pick up on much in the way of any rain, at least the type of rain that would produce thunderstorms. So kind of interesting. But look at the band of rain off the coast. Now, last night, you may have been hearing about the rain that's off the coast. And then when you think about that at 10, 11 o'clock at night, you think, oh, okay, well, the rain will be on the coast by the morning. No. It looks like a few hours ago in extreme northwest Del Norte County around Smith River, there may have been some light showers. But then that kind of retreated back to the west. Now see what's happening? See the flow coming in from southwest to northeast. You see that? You see how it's tilting more and more from south to north? That's because the area of low pressure responsible for this is diving down to the south. And we'll get into that in a little more detail here in a second. Look at the highs we saw yesterday. Absolutely gorgeous day out there. We saw temperatures in the lower 80s for those daytime highs. Oroville is actually a bit warmer at 84. Even in the mountains, 70s. We talked about this. It's going to be a lot warmer, but then we're going to see a big drop in our temperatures. Not necessarily today. Yes, there's going to be about a 10 to 15 degree drop, but still mild. But it's the weekend. That's the big story. And take a look at these temperatures right now. Look how mild it is. Reason being is most of these areas are experiencing some clouds. Now, less cloud cover to the east. That will be changing here later today. But because of the cloud cover, we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, still 60 out at the Reading Airport right now. Now, I want you to go outside and feel that temperature, okay? And this is going to be the temperature you are going to be experiencing through the day tomorrow and Sunday. And it may even be cooler than that in some spots because Reading is 60 right now. It actually may be cooler over the weekend. So yeah, interesting. Temperatures mid 40s for the coast right now and low 40s out towards Siskiyou County and Wairika and Mount Shasta, for example. There you can see Main Street, Chico. Not much traffic out there this morning. If you look off in the distance, there are some cars that are approaching. There's a look at Highway 99 at Neal Road. Looks like someone changing lanes there successfully. Going into the fast lane, maybe trying to get past that white car. Oh, the fun of driving sometimes, right? People get a little aggressive, especially when they're late for work, maybe. I don't know. Highway 44, Sundial Bridge Drive. Sometimes I wish this was a moving picture. I've talked to Caltrans about this, and the reason being is they can't have a lot of because of bandwidth. They can't do it for all their cameras. I'd love to see one, though, in Reading that actually moves. Maybe I can talk to him about that. We'll take a look at Crescent City. Pardon me while I take a sip of my coffee. You can see calm waters, calm winds. Looks like there's a bug on the lens there. But off in the distance, look at the clouds. So again, we're talking about that rain that's off the coast. It's dry. Now think about this. 3, 4, 5 hours ago, it was mainly overcast and maybe some light showers near Crescent City. But again, that's retreated westward. And there you can see the calm waters there in the harbor. And it looks like a small boat getting ready to go. It's always fun to see the boats going out there early in the morning, getting ready to go out and do some fishing. There's that color I was talking about as I was looking out the window. There's Lake Oroville, North Forebay. There, of course, are some of the clouds that are moving in this morning. And that is, of course, responsible for these mild temperatures we're experiencing out there right now. So remember, I was talking about the area of low pressure as it dives to the south. So you see the northeast kind of flow, or the kind of the tilt, right? And then it starts to tilt more and more vertically because that area of low pressure is diving to the south. And what it's doing is causing that rain in a lot of the clouds to retreat a little bit to the west. But eventually that low pressure system is going to move down to our south. It'll bring us some rain. Now, I'm going to show you 2 different forecast models for today. And this should help to kind of give us an idea about why things are a little tricky. Now, this is known as the HRRR forecast model. All right. Now, that is a model that updates every hour. It's a kind of a fairly effective tool because what it does is it takes the current conditions and then it makes a new forecast every hour based on the current conditions each hour. So this is the latest data coming in. Look at 7 o'clock this morning. Where the rain is right now, pretty accurate, right? It's showing some showers trying to develop north of Redding early this morning and then kind of dissipating by noon. But the batch of rain still off the west. Most of us are dry based on this forecast model, right? Then we go into the afternoon. You see how we start to see some showers popping up. And I'm seeing this trend for northern Trinity County, western Siskiyou County in the long-range forecast models and other short-range forecast models. So this right here that you're seeing, at least for western Siskiyou County, northern Trinity County, this looks pretty good. I would say for central western Siskiyou County, you got a chance for showers, maybe some thunderstorms developing this afternoon and evening. And that will probably even include northern Trinity County. So places like Trinity Center, Callahan, for example, Scott Valley, seeing some of that as well. But notice again, west of the coast, that's where the showers are. And look at off to the valley, look to the east, dry conditions. That's what this forecast model wants to show. And then it starts to kind of showing some more activity, kind of as that low pressure continues to dive down the south and east. We're seeing better chances for rain spreading in from the south by tonight. That's the HRR forecast model. This is as far out as it goes. Now I'm going to show you the in-house forecast model. Here's Futurecast. So keep in mind what we were looking at. Okay, there's that rain off to the west. All right, that's normal. We're seeing a little bit of that rain north in northern Shasta County. That's normal. Everything's looking pretty good at this point. Let's take you into the noon hour. Now, notice, remember the HRR had it completely dry for all of Northern California at this point. But notice that line from just west of Redding and Red Bluff to the north to west of Mount Shasta around Wairika. We're also seeing some showers and maybe even some thunderstorms developing in parts of Lassen, eastern Plumas, and into Modoc County as well. And then, of course, it's fairly dry for the coast. And we take you in about 5 o'clock this afternoon, still some showers possibly for Redding, Red Bluff, northward into Mount Shasta, and Siskiyou County. So again, we have really good agreement between these two forecast models, at least central and western Siskiyou County, not to mention northern Trinity County, could see some showers, maybe some thunderstorms today. But it's a slimmer chance, I think, in the valley, and of course, not to mention eastward. There you can see by 5 p.m., rain still really not hitting the coast that much at this point. And then we go into tonight at 10 o'clock. Now we're beginning to see how things are spreading in from the south. And all models agree that we're going to see it all coming on in from the south, widespread rain for many of us. But notice out towards Del Norte and Modoc, Lassen County, still not a lot of rain, even for eastern Plumas County. But of course that'll change later as we go into Saturday afternoon. Snow levels 4,500 to 5,500 feet could impact some of those higher mountain passes, especially east of I-5. And by the way, isolated thunderstorms are a possibility on Saturday as well. There you can see Saturday 5 p.m. All right, you're seeing some scattered activity, maybe some isolated thunderstorms. But look what's happening. Now we're kind of on the north end of that flow around that area of low pressure. So Saturday night, maybe some heavier rain, maybe some snow. By the way, look at the snow levels, 3,500 feet to 4,500 feet. Now, we could see for a brief period of time, Saturday night, early Sunday morning, some snow near Mount Shasta City on I-5, Highway 89, and of course the mountains east of the valley, east of I-5, could see some chain requirements there as well. Okay, now we're going to take you into Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Again, you see how the bulk of the activity is to the east. Listen to that. This is why I don't like mufflers and all that good stuff. Did you hear that? A guy with a big old Harley drove by. That's why I want a studio in the back. All right, anyway, so there you can see 6 a.m. on Sunday, there's the snow, and it's getting pretty heavy in some spots. So things could get interesting Sunday morning in Siskiyou and Modoc counties. Okay, and then we go into the noon hour. There again, most of it's to the north, northeast, and then it kind of pushes through in the afternoon for parts of the valley, and then it kind of really dissipates by Sunday afternoon. So essentially, the storm system is exiting our area through the day on Sunday, but by Monday, it's completely dry. Now, I want to talk about the winds here because I think you'll notice, the winds haven't been much of a factor the last few days, but you're going to notice here that, yes, the winds are going to pick up. More of a nuisance wind. It's not going to create problems. We're not going to see power outages or anything like that. Dying down Saturday morning, but again, a little breezy for your Saturday afternoon coming in mainly from the south. Now, you can see on Sunday, again, fairly calm winds. Sunday afternoon, all right, a little breezy, especially off to the east. Still mainly coming in from the south, southwest, although for the coast, from the north. All right, so here's what we expect today. Chance for showers. Okay, you saw the discrepancy in the forecast models, right? And this is why it's going to be difficult. For me to say it's dry for you today anywhere, I would be doing it a disservice. Here's what I'm going to say, and I'm not one to do this. In fact, I make fun of people who do this. I'm not going to tell you what to wear. I'm not going to say, oh, bring out the sunglasses, wear your jacket, all that kind of stuff, right? If you know it's going to be a sunny day, you know to wear your sunglasses. And most likely you have them on hand. But I don't typically tell you what to wear, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Wear what you want to wear, based on the temperatures, on where you're going to be, right? You can see these temperatures, so you know temperature-wise what to wear. Now you might be thinking, well, is it going to rain or is it not going to rain? Well, that's the big question. That's the million-dollar question today. And here's what I'd say. Just make sure you got something to keep you dry just in case. Have the umbrella handy in the car, maybe a jacket, a light jacket that's waterproof, that has a hood that keep you dry, just in case you get caught in a stray shower. Now, you notice I got the thunderstorms in there for Modoc and in the eastern mountains. Again, I just want you to know that chance is out there, and I don't want you to be surprised should it happen. But not all forecast models agree that that's going to happen. So again, that's kind of my advice for today. I think tomorrow, you're going to get wet no matter what, no matter where you are. It's going to be wet and cooler. Now again, remember I was saying go outside and experience the temperature? That's what you're going to experience on Saturday, and maybe even cooler than that on Sunday. Now again, I think the main event will be this weekend for everybody. Everyone has that chance for rain on Saturday. Snow level's fairly high, between 4,000 and 5,000 feet. But we'll be looking at that rain on Saturday. Sunday, the chances continue. And that will eventually dry out as we go into early next week. There's El Turris, that chance for thunderstorms. We could see thunderstorms, by the way, on Saturday as well. But it'll be few and far between, quite honestly. We're not going to see as much of that clearing and as much of that convection activity here that I think thunderstorms are going to be a little bit more few and far between Saturday. And then you can see for Susanville, of course, you got the chance for showers throughout today, and not to mention Saturday and Sunday as well. All right, let's take a look at the big picture here as far as what we can expect here. And again, I've got the chance for thunderstorms east of the valley. All right, and then, of course, temperature is much cooler than they have been. Looking around 70 degrees here for the valley and mid to upper 50s for the coast. So let's take a look at your 7-day outlook. Just for region by region, just kind of a quick glance here. And of course, there's the wet weather off and on through the weekend. You saw that. But look at next week. It's dry and warmer. Now, I will say this. There is some discrepancy in the long-range forecast models, and the temperatures you see here may actually end up being warmer than what you're seeing here by the middle and latter part of next week. But for now, I'm going to keep it kind of status quo, low 70s for the valley, and for the mountains, mainly in the mid to upper 50s for those daytime highs. All right, let's do this. Let's take a look at, because today is Pet of the Week. And every Friday, or actually every Thursday, I go and film it on Thursdays. But every Thursday I go and film it. And then we air it here on Coffee with Krueger every Friday. So today we are going to introduce you to, it's kind of like a Labradoodle, or they're calling it more of like a Aussie Doodle. They're thinking it has a little bit of Aussie in it, but also a doodle in there as well, or Labradoodle, or whatever. There's all these different types of doodles, right? But this is, the name of the animal is Bamboo. The name of the dog is Bamboo. And it's Pet of the Week, which is sponsored by Cottonwood Vet and Small Animal Clinic. So check out, and I introduce you to Bamboo. Hello everyone, Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. We've got Katrina from Haven Humane Society, and our special Pet of the Week this week is Bamboo. So you were thinking maybe something along the lines of like Aussie Doodle?
That's what we're calling him.
Yeah.
Because of the curly fur, we're thinking he's some type of doodle, which is like poodle mixed with something else typically. And then we were thinking maybe some Australian Shepherd in there because of his colors and his size, but we're not quite sure. But
the color.
we do know though he's very, very friendly. We think he's about 5 years old, so he is like a little bit older, which is nice for some people because he's definitely out of the puppy stage. And I'd say he's like pretty easygoing most of the time.
So middle-aged.
Yeah, middle-aged, a good way to put it. But he's super friendly, super sweet. I love his little nubby tail. I don't know if you're able to catch that.
Well, that would be something they would do with like an Aussie, right?
Yeah.
So maybe something along that
Maybe,
lines?
who knows?
Could you tell, if you could talk, maybe you'd have that Australian accent, and that would really be the clincher. Right
Maybe
there.
so. But yeah, he's definitely a sweetheart. Definitely just a goofy guy.
Yeah.
Definitely with dogs like this, of course, they come with like more special grooming needs, I would say, when they have the thicker coats like this.
Yeah.
But aside from that, very typical guy who's just looking for a loving home, who has a little bit of space for him. But he's not one who's so active that you're going to need a gigantic home or to be a super active family. I think he'd be pretty happy most places.
Seems pretty like status quo here. Like really any family would probably be good, right? It seems like he'd probably get along with other dogs.
Yeah.
Kiddos, right?
Yeah, he's done pretty good with other dogs. He can be very playful. So probably if you have a dog that's like older or maybe, doesn't want to play around a lot, they might get annoyed by him, possibly. Yeah. But no matter what, we always want you to bring your dog in to meet them to make sure they get along too and make sure they're going to be a good fit.
All right, perfect. If someone wants to bring Bamboo home with them, how much would it cost them?
$37.50 is his adoption fee.
All right, you got yourself a little discount there. All right, so if you're interested in Bamboo or any of the other animals they have here at Haven Humane Society, of course, you can call the number at the bottom of your screen and give that a call. Of course, they will take care of you. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Bamboo. Oh, you see another animal. We'll see you next week for another Pet of the Week. All right, so again, that is sponsored by Cottonwood Vet and Small Animal Clinic. I want to thank them for their sponsorship of Pet of the Week. And of course, if you are interested in Bamboo, of course, you can call that number here. Yeah, kind of interesting. It was a cute dog. Had some good energy, not too much. I think would be just a good family dog in general, especially if you're into those doodle animals, Labradoodle, whatever doodles, right? I think you'll really like Bamboo. Bamboo is a great dog. I'm looking at some of the comments here, and Zach Blanchard, you're asking, thanks, Mike, can you find a way to make your model maps bigger while you're going through the days? Zach, I'm assuming you're watching on your phone. I can't do anything about that. I mean, that's as big, when you're looking at the screen, that's as big as it gets. And I've got to cover the whole Northern California region. So if you're looking at one particular location, you maybe want it zoomed in on your area. And I can't do that because I've got to service everybody, right? But if you're watching from your phone, remember this. You might be watching it like this when you're watching it. It's as simple as doing this. Once you do this, now it's going to fill your entire screen and it'll be bigger. You may be doing that already, and maybe it's still too small, and there's nothing I can do about that. I would recommend then, if you really do want to get the more detailed forecast, that you watch on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, on YouTube from your smart TV, or from your computer. You can watch there. Maybe if you have like an iPad or a tablet, those are going to have bigger screens as well. And of course, you can get the app on your iPad and your tablet as well, and you can watch from there. So that would be my recommendation to you if you're having problems seeing the picture, because you know, we all walk around with these and we do everything we can to accommodate those of you that are watching on phones or doing things on phones. But bottom line is, it's going to be a smaller picture. And there's nothing, you can't compare that to a bigger screen of a TV. So again, Amazon Fire Stick, Roku, or YouTube. If you have a smart TV that has any three of those capabilities to grab Weather NorCal, there is an app on Roku. There is an app, a Weather NorCal app on Amazon Fire Stick. And like I said, there's also a YouTube channel. And a lot of smart TVs these days, when you buy a new TV, they're smart usually. You can connect them to the internet, and I can almost guarantee you that your TV will have already on it YouTube app. And all you have to do is go into that YouTube app, search for Weather NorCal, and you're watching it on the big screen. All right, so that's my advice. The long answer there. Curtis, you said you sent your picture. I'm not seeing it. It seems to be having some problems. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. That's kind of interesting. I hate that that's happening because I don't want you to be discouraged from sending pictures. All right, let's get to, a lot of people are probably kind of coming in here going, well, let's get to the weather, right? Because there's something to talk about. And how often do we have something to talk about, right? At least as we start getting into the summer months. Well, a lot of times we do have something to talk about. But today in particular, because it's Friday, you may have outdoor plans. You may have outdoor plans over the weekend. I know my son has a track meet on Saturday. I'm not too thrilled about the temperatures and the rain, right? It's like, talk about timing. It's been beautiful this week. Why can't the track meet be done during this beautiful weather? So there you have it. So let's get to it. We're going to start off by mentioning our sponsor, which is Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Thank you, Wind River, for your support. Thank you for your sponsorship. And of course, we'll see you out there checking out all the slots. Hey, let's go ahead and take a look at those current conditions out there right now. We're going to start off with the radar. Now, again, this is interesting. I'd like to talk about this with the radar. And this is something I try to focus on, but now that I'm at the wall, I can really kind of help to illustrate this. Look at the beginning of the loop. So you see what's happening? You see how it's doing this? And now it's beginning to tilt more and more like this. There's a reason for that, because the area of low pressure off to the west, what it's doing is, as it dives to the south, to the west here, what happens is this. So we see it doing this. As it dives to the south, we begin to see it tilt more like that. So what's happening is, yes, you can see Smith River, extreme northwest Del Norte County into, of course, southwestern Oregon, there were some light showers. Now that's retreated to the west because of the tilting of that. Also, kind of interesting to take note, not much in the way of rain there, but there was a lightning strike out towards, looks like near Weaverville, actually. It's kind of interesting. I'd love to maybe get a confirmed report on that. So this is what's making the forecast tricky. Because when we were looking at the forecast models yesterday, and really the last few days, it was showing that this morning, it was wet on the coast, right? But no, that's not the case. It's retreated to the west. So then you think, okay, it's here, but this is where it was last night at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Has it moved any closer? No. And that's because the area of low pressure itself, it's got to shift to the east. Until it shifts to the east, we're not going to see much of that in the way of that rain. All right, so again, I just kind of wanted to show that. Look at the temperatures we saw out there yesterday. Temperatures mainly in the low 80s for the valley. You can see Oroville about 84, out towards Quincy 79. So it was a gorgeous day. But say goodbye to that. look at that in the rearview mirror, because now we're going to be looking at much cooler temperatures. Very mild this morning. Reading just about an hour ago was at 60, now we're down to about 59, but that's about as cool as it's going to get. We're not going to get much cooler than this for the valley. Mid to upper 50s right now in the valley, and there you can see it's warming up. It's fairly mild even for the mountains. Susanville 39, 46 degrees in Alturas. One of the cooler spots is Chester right now at about 34. We take you out to Mount Shasta City, about 42, and low to mid 40s right now along the coast. All right, so here's your headlines. The cooling trend starts today. Now, it's not going to be cold. I don't think it's going to be cold for anybody. But you're going to notice about a 10 to 15 degree drop from what we saw yesterday. Now, the key word here is chance for showers returns today. Not everyone's going to see rain today. I think many of us could be dry through a good portion of the day. But I'd be doing you a disservice if I said everyone's going to be dry all day. I think everyone has that chance. It just depends on what that area of low pressure I was talking about decides to do today. Chance for isolated thunderstorms today, and better chances going into your Saturday afternoon. And then dry with near normal highs going into next week. So we just got to get through this weekend. Once we do, we warm things back up. We get back to that spring weather. All right, so here's the area of low pressure and the cold area that's associated. We're going to start off by talking about the temperatures. The roller coaster ride, if you will, of the temperatures. So there's the pocket of cold air. Now, the core of it's still to our west. So we're basically between the cold and the warm air. So as a result, our temperatures have dropped from where we were in the low to mid 80s for the valley to around 70 in the valley today. But this right here will drop those temperatures in the valley between 55 and 60 degrees for Saturday, and Sunday really being the coldest day of the two. Now, that will start to move out. But I've been talking about this. Some more cold air is going to come down from Canada as we go into early next week. So temperatures in the valley will be in the low to mid 70s through a good portion of next week, because that low pressure, see how that cooler air just kind of sticks around through a good portion of next week. However, that's this forecast model. The European forecast model actually has a much bigger ridge of high pressure here by the middle to latter part of next week. And that would mean warmer temperatures than what we're seeing here. So I'm kind of going down middle of the road here when it comes to those temperatures later next week. But bottom line is, it's going to be much warmer and drier for next week. But there you can kind of see here, we're kind of in that near normal to just maybe above normal. And that's essentially what we're going to be looking at for everybody temperature-wise. All right, so here's the area of low pressure. And this is something I kind of highlighted when I was recording my morning update that goes down at about 5 o'clock in the morning. So look at the area of low pressure. All right, so we're going to take a look at it. It was showing signs of moving in this direction. But then eventually what happened was it started kind of moving more towards this direction. So it's still doing that, but now it's beginning to transition in the next hour or two. It will start to move in the easterly direction. So it's going to continue southward a little bit here for the morning, and then eventually take a sharp turn to the right here. And that is where I think the main area of low pressure will shift down to our south, and then eventually kind of shift off to the north and east. So the positioning of this low is key to our forecast for today, and not to mention tomorrow. So let's take a look at that area of low pressure. And this is something I touched on even the last few days, is we have the main area of low pressure and the rain associated with that. So this is where most of the rain is. But we have another band right here. This is a cold front. This is what's trying to approach, but as I was mentioning, as that low pressure shifts to the south, we see this do this. So what happens is, especially the north end of this, it begins to retreat. So we just don't see much in the way of rain to start off. And then, because we're in that flow here, there may be enough instability for a few showers to develop even east of that. So what we're really seeing here is rain, a dry slot, a band of rain, a dry slot, then another band of rain. You can kind of see it picking up a little bit on that as well. And we're going to take a closer look, by the way, at Futurecast with the shorter range forecast models. But I just want to kind of show you the overall broad pattern. So you see now, instead of moving in this direction, now it's moving in this direction as we go into the afternoon. So it's going to be a quick mover. So you can see here by late in the day today, it's now down to our south and west. But you see again, most of that flow, you got the southwest flow is going to bring in some of the clouds, but not a lot of rain at this point. But it's overnight tonight. As you see how the low pressure shifts eastward, now we're getting within that better flow of rainfall. And we're going to be looking at rain for everybody through a good portion of the day on Saturday. Then you see it shifts a little bit more to the south, and we got that flow around the low. So this is the direction that all of that activity is moving in. Now this is when the coldest air will be here. Late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. This is when I expect some of the lowest snow levels too. So if you're traveling Sunday morning, you need to keep a close eye on those road conditions, because there is that possibility for snow as low as 3,500 feet. Now, most likely it won't have a very big impact on I-5 near Mount Shasta City, but we can't rule it out. But when we have snow levels down to 3,500 feet, then as you get to the 4,000, 4,500 foot range, that's when you can start running into bigger problems with chain requirements. So especially east of I-5, Saturday night, Sunday morning, just keep a close eye on those conditions here. Then as we go through the day on Sunday into Sunday night, it starts to move on out, and then the chances for rain diminish. And then as we go into Monday of next week, we start to dry things out. And this is that ridge of high pressure that's trying to build in. But as we go through next week, you know, forecast models the last few days had this a little bit more to the south, and there was maybe even a chance for some showers for parts of Modoc County around Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but that's not the case anymore. That will eventually start to kind of move out, and we'll keep it dry through all of next week is what it's looking like at this point. All right, so again, remember if you watched earlier, but I'm going to do it again in case you missed it, because this right here, we're going to look at two different forecast models when we look at the short range here through the weekend, okay? This one only goes out through tonight. So I'm going to show you, this is called the HRRR forecast model. What it does is it updates every hour. And it's a pretty good tool. We try to use it, but sometimes it's a little too aggressive, I've noticed a lot of times. But we'll see what happens through the day today. But what it does is it takes the current conditions, and then it generates a forecast every hour based on the current conditions. So there's the rain that we're seeing right now off to the coast, right? We're not seeing anything on the coast right now, and it's fairly dry for everyone else. That's holding steady. A little bit of activity trying to develop here. You can see north and northwest of the valley. But still, by the noon hour, this model keeps us fairly dry. Excuse me, I had a little itch there. And then, of course, most of the rain off to the west. All right, now we go through the afternoon. Look what's happening. You see how we're seeing this activity here, especially for western Siskiyou and northern Trinity County. Now, I think this is where we have the best chance for any activity for this afternoon and evening. Now, you did see, for a brief second here, some activity developing here off to the east into Modoc and northern parts of Lassen County as well. So, not out of the question for that as well. And when we look at Futurecast, our in-house model, it'll be much more aggressive with that. So we can't rule out some of that activity to the east as well. But this model keeps it fairly dry. But look where the main band of rain is again, right? Still off to our west, not even hitting the coast yet. Then we go into tonight at about 10 p.m. Now we're starting to see some showers fill in here. This is beginning to shift eastward, so now the coast is beginning, especially down to southern Humboldt County, but even parts of Del Norte County, and not to mention western Siskiyou County. But still not much activity going on in the valley. All right, so that was the HRR. That's as far out as it goes. Now let's take a look at Futurecast, and we'll compare. Remember what we were looking at here. So let's start off by taking you to the noon hour. So remember, the HRRR had us basically dry everywhere. But you see how this model brings in the chance for showers, maybe some thunderstorms by noon for Modoc and Lassen counties, not to mention even parts of Plumas County. But where we're seeing some pretty good agreement is this line right here. So maybe parts of Redding and Red Bluff could see a chance for a shower by noon and through the afternoon, because you see here, it actually kind of shifts a little bit to the east by this afternoon. Fairly dry. So remember, the HRRR had this dry as well. So if we see anything from Modoc, Lassen, and Plumas County, it looks like the best chances for you will be in the late morning to the mid to early afternoon hours. But as we go through the late afternoon hours, you actually may see some drying. Now, as we go through the afternoon, chances for showers may be Red Bluff, northward into Redding, and then of course into central and western Siskiyou County and northern Trinity County. This area is in all pretty good agreement, even from the HRRR forecast model. And pretty good agreement, just not seeing much still hitting the coast. There's a good chance that the coast may be dry through a good portion of the day. Then we go into tonight at 10 p.m. Good agreement, right, that most of the rain will be to the north and west of the valley. But look what happens overnight into tomorrow morning. Now it's all coming in from the south, southeast. and is spreading, overspreading into the valley. But north of that, not much still. This is Saturday morning at 6 a.m., by the way. Not much still going on to the north and east, or even to the north and west. Okay? But then as we go into around the noon hours Saturday, now it's kind of spreading northward. And by the way, maybe an isolated thunderstorm popping up Saturday afternoon, especially if we get enough clearing in those areas. See, we won't have a lot of clearing in the valley, so the chances for thunderstorms there are very minimal. You've got to get the clearing to get that daytime heating to really help to destabilize that atmosphere. We could see that here, especially if we start the day on Saturday with clear skies. And that could help to bubble up that atmosphere and give us some thunderstorms possibly. Meanwhile, we're seeing some activity to the northwest. So everybody is seeing that chance for some wet weather, some heavier than others. And the same situation going into the evening. I think everyone has the chance. It's going to be more isolated in nature, but you get the idea. Everyone's going to see that. Snow level still fairly high, 4,500 to 5,500 feet. All right, so now 11 p.m. on Saturday, looks like the bulk of the rain. We're on the north side of that flow. So remember that low pressure system is down over Southern California. So we're getting that north end of that low, that flow is moving in this direction. And then eventually what you'll see is all of this is just going to slowly shift southward. 6 a.m. Sunday, most of it's to the north. We go into Sunday at about noon, most of it's to the north and east, and then eventually kind of slides southward through the afternoon on Sunday. Keep a close eye on the forecast if you have plans on Sunday, because I think everyone has a chance for showers, right? I think most of it will be to the north, but keep watching Brian Wilson over the weekend. He'll have those latest updates for you on Sunday as the forecast models really begin to hone in on Sunday and, of course, going into early next week. So below normal rainfall. Yes, I'm talking about rain, right? But when we look at the extended, you saw that. It's dry through next week, so that's going to keep us in that below normal category. Do want to mention the winds. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but again, in case you missed it, they'll pick up this afternoon. Bit of a nuisance wind more than anything else. It's not going to create power outages. It's not going to be a problem for us, just more of a nuisance off and on. You can see as we go into Saturday afternoon, the wind's kind of picking up. They're generally coming in from the south. And then we go into Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, once again, a little breezy, especially off to the east. But again, just that nuisance wind picking up over the next few days. We take a look at our wave heights for today, not an issue. Saw that boat going out there in good shape, but then we go into Saturday, to see the wave heights are beginning to increase. So as a result, we may eventually have a small craft advisory on Saturday, but not today, just the rain showers. Winds fairly calm out of the southwest at 5 knots, with your waves from the northwest at 4 feet at about 12 seconds. All right, so for today, here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. So there's the off and on rain, right? And then dry for Monday. But temperatures, not quite as warm as they have been. Remember, we've been looking at highs in the 70s for Trinity County, but more like the 50s and 60s for today. So it will be noticeably cooler out there for everyone. Not so much the coast, because the coast has been fairly, basically has been mainly in the mid to upper 50s, and not going to see much change there. But you start heading inland, you start heading into the mountains and the valley. Yes, much cooler than it has been, and especially as we go into the weekend. There you can see Smith River about 59, 53 degrees for Gas Key, and there's Orleans with about 66 degrees. We take you out to Siskiyou County, where temperatures there are going to be mainly in the 60s, and for Scott Valley, mainly in the mid to upper 50s for your daytime highs. 58 degrees for Callahan, 56 degrees in Fort Jones. Central, eastern Siskiyou County, upper 50s as you head into the higher elevations, and even out towards Weed, about 57, and McLeod, about 57 degrees as well. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, 65 degrees. Now, you'll notice the lightning strikes. I'm putting that in there because the chance as we go into the late morning and early afternoon hours, some of these areas could see a chance for a brief thunderstorm. So don't be surprised if you hear a few rumbles of thunder this afternoon. So don't look at this and go, oh my goodness, it's going to be mayhem and thunderstorms everywhere. No, this is just saying all of these areas have that chance. And you can take a look at that 7-day forecast for Chester, and not to mention Lassen Park. You can see those temperatures are dropping over the weekend, but warming up for next week as well. There's your 7-day outlook for Paradise and Susanville. Otherwise today, yes, that chance for showers and thunderstorms, slimmer chances for places like Paradise. I don't think we're going to see it in the Valley today. There's your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor. Those temperatures will be in the upper 60s to low 70s for today. 64 degrees out towards the city of Shasta Lake, 59 in Lakehead, 60 in Whiskeytown, and 69 degrees in Palisadro. All right, let's take a look at, I think I've got the 7-day forecast. Yeah, there it is. So there's that chance. Now, again, one of the things I want to stress about today, there is a chance that many of us will make it through the day without seeing a drop of rain. Redding, Red Bluff, I think you've got the best chance to see some isolated showers developing probably sometime late morning, midday, and even through the afternoon. Southward into Chico, I think your chances may be slimmer. That being said, don't rule it out. This is a day where you just want to keep something that may keep you dry handy, an umbrella or a jacket that's waterproof, right? Saturday, everyone's going to get wet and cool. So be prepared for cooler temperatures, be prepared for some wet weather. And not to mention a little gusty at times too. Sunday, I think everyone has the chance of getting wet. Most of the rain and snow will be north in Siskiyou County, Modoc County, northern Lassen County, right? And then eventually through the afternoon it kind of shifts southward and everyone sees a chance for showers. And then it's dry for Monday through Thursday of next week. But this is, again, the main event is Saturday. And if you have plans on Sunday, know that I think there's a better chance you'll be dry on Sunday, but it's not guaranteed. So that's why you need to keep a close eye on the forecast. If you have outdoor plans on Sunday, be sure to watch meteorologist Brian Wilson. He'll, of course, have the updates for you and to kind of keep you updated with what's going on with the weather. All right, there you have it. That is your detailed forecast. See if there's any comments coming in from anybody. Stephen mentioned, did anyone see what looked like a Starlink launch in the sky last night about 9:30 p.m.? I wonder if there was a Starlink launch. Let's see. I'm just going to Google it real quick. Let's see here. News. Maybe there's a news on it. 2 days ago, it launched, say 2 days ago, Friday night show. Rocket launch from the Space Coast. No, I don't want that. SpaceX targeting Friday night first night. Oh, it was saying Friday night, not necessarily last night. So interesting. I'm not quite sure what you saw there. Maybe a UFO. I don't know. Interesting. All right, that should do it. So are there any questions, number one? Because I know there was a kind of a lot to maybe kind of take in when it comes to the forecast, and you're wondering if you're going to get wet. Hopefully I was able to kind of communicate that properly. And, we can get an idea of what to expect. But today's tricky. Today is definitely a tricky one. I think many of us will be dry through a good portion of the day today, and dry all day. But, places like Redding, Red Bluff, you may see a stray shower. So there you have it. Anyone have plans for the weekend? I don't necessarily have any plans planned. However, my son has a track meet. And one of the things I learned and discovered is that they do the track meets rain or shine, cold or warm. So I'm not excited about that. So as a spectator, I'm going to be out there with my umbrella and my heavy jacket because it's going to be chilly. And I'm going to be just thinking about my son and how cold he's going to be. I remember last time there was a track meet. It was at Foothill, and it was raining, it was just raining, steady rain, the entire track meet, and cold. And I remember after his event, I walked across the other side because his team was under the bleachers on the visitor side. They did have a shelter that was keeping them dry, but no heaters or anything like that. And I remember as I was walking up, he's just sitting there on the bench after his run, which he did a great job. He beat his time. He had his best personal time for the mile. I was so proud of him. So I went over there to congratulate him, and he's just sitting there, and he's just staring off in the distance, just shivering. He was cold, so cold. I felt so bad for him. So hopefully, we can get him some warmer gear to be out there in the cold, because it is not fun to be out there running in the cold and wet conditions here. All right, so that's going to do it for us on Coffee with Krueger for your Friday. Like I said, if there are any questions that you may have, feel free to chime in. But in the meantime, I am going to leave you with, as I typically do, like to leave you with some different cameras of the area. Let's take a look at Lake Oroville, North Fore Bay. We'll also take a look at some other cameras in the area. Until then, you have yourselves a great Friday. Like I said, keep a close eye on the forecast if you have outdoor plans, especially on Sunday, because meteorologist Brian Wilson will have the latest for you to help you plan your Sunday. But just be prepared, especially for tomorrow, for wet weather and getting wet for any of your outdoor events. Have a great day, everyone, and we will see you bright and early on Monday morning on Coffee with Krueger. Until then, of course, too, I will have your update at noon and 6 p.m. this evening before Brian Wilson takes over for the weekend. Have a great day and have a great weekend.